Hello, everybody, and welcome to this new episode of the MACE Podcast. I'm your host, Marco Macente, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you. Our episode today is very special. We will focus entirely on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, mentorship, and coaching, with a special guest, Paula Moio from United Kingdom. Paula is a self made, open minded, and eclectic future focused professional who truly embraces her passion, advocating for change of perception and recognition of the admin profession. She works tirelessly alongside a like minded global network of professionals to raise the profile of the admin profession in today's demanding market, and she's determined to break the barriers. She likes seeing herself as the 3L woman. She was born in Angola, in Luanda, raised in Lisbon, and adopted by London for work. She worked for more than 15 years at BBC World Service, and she got the BBC News Award for her outstanding contribution to the company. Today, she works as a C suite EA at an international company in the finance industry in London. In 2016, she worked as a consultant in a professional training project for EAPA in partnership with the prestigious academy BAI in Luanda in the creation of a co-design course for admin profession. She's a mentor and a coach because in order to promote and raise the profile of the profession in Angola, she's mentoring, she's creating a lot of sessions in order to grant the access to the people that want to embrace this profession. More recently, she became the founder of Moyeno Lusofonando, a project that has its primary objective to train professionals and provide excellence of service and empower future admin professionals across the globe. What a pleasure to meet in person Paula when I was in London, and please enjoy our conversation. Hello, Paula. How are you? And welcome to the MACE Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Marco. It's been a pleasure to finally meet you because we only met digitally,
Yeah.
and this is our first time. And what an energy! Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure, and actually, we are recording this episode live from your home in London. So, what a pleasure to be here with you and to make this podcast happen finally all together. So, Paula, I already shared with the audience a little bit of your background and a little bit of your experience, and you are an experienced executive assistant with more than 30 years of experience in this profession, actually, with a multicultural background, having born in Angola, raised in Lisbon, and adopted by London. And as your career brought you to London, actually, how this multicultural background helps you to raise the bar and engage your stakeholders in your role?
Wow. That's a huge question. Thank you. I usually tell people that I've got a path of three L's,
Yeah,
which is Luanda, capital of Angola,
yeah,
Lisbon,
yeah,
and London.
yeah,
So I'm the three L's lady. Um,
amazing.
it's incredible, all these cultures, because even though Angola and Portugal have the same kind of cultural nuance, um, it's still different cultures. One is African, one is European.
Yeah,
As you know, Portugal colonized a few countries in Africa, and Angola was one of them. But for me, having been raised and out of my completely comfort zone, I didn't know that then back
yeah,
then, but being able to adapt and adjust to new places and a new culture, the same language, but still it's a completely different climate, for instance, different mindsets, uh, propels you
yeah,
in a way that you don't even imagine when you are living it,
yeah. I imagine.
Absolutely. So having moved around and believing that having an open mind can actually you can learn so much from what you absorb,
Yeah.
from different cultures, from
Yeah.
different mindsets, from different people, from different ways of working.
Of course.
One of the things that I was told when I came first into this country was, "Oh, we cannot do secretariat in here. You cannot be an assistant in England because they do. It's a different way." And I said, "How can it be so different?"
Yeah.
An assistant is an assistant. It's a mindset.
Of course.
It's a mindset. Of course, you've got the process and procedures that you have to follow as in any profession, but being an assistant is something very poetic. I think, in a way. I'm very passionate still, 38 years on.
Yes, I
I'm
can see
still
it, of
very
course.
passionate about my profession.
Yeah.
And so it opened, having this background, this adaptable background, opened my mind to be curious
Yeah.
about different worlds and different cultures, and to be curious about different ways of working, and be um, there's a word,
Eclectic?
eclectic, in terms of accept
Yeah.
what comes your way,
Yeah.
and eventually you will blend in. Eventually you will bring your stance to the table.
Yeah.
And things will adapt and adjust.
Yes, of course. I'm totally inspired by your words, Paula. Thanks a lot for sharing. And I'm passionate about communication and I'm passionate about cultures. So I really see myself in what you're saying. And let's see something that it is important and to let also our audience capture our first takeaways from these first questions. So having such a kind of open-minded mindset and be open really helped you, and it helps you, to break some stereotypes, not just related to the profession but related to the lives. And I would say that stereotypes are very huge problems actually in our workplace, right? To be labeled or to think that some things are standard and we are not able to think other creative ways to do things, right? So
Mm.
being able to break stereotypes, being able, to be open and being able, to navigate in our landscape, even though this is blur, it helps you to, be the person that you are today. Do you
Mm.
agree?
I totally agree. I mean, stereotypes is something that can be so limiting,
Yeah.
isn't it? And one of the things, and I actually have to mention this, I work in a family office at the moment,
Yeah.
but my previous job, I worked as a PA to the control of languages at the BBC.
Yeah.
And these languages, the BBC then had 28 language services.
Yeah.
And so this is a community of about 1,500 people, 1,400 people. And it is a complex mechanism. It is a complex platform to manage and to absorb, and to be able to relate, to build relationships.
Yeah.
And so if you don't break stereotypes, we all have stereotypes.
Yeah.
All of us. No
Yeah.
one is
Yeah.
above anyone in that
Yes.
respect.
It belongs to humans, let's say.
Exactly. But breaking stereotypes as you go along in life will help you to understand the world around you, will help you to understand how to accept the differences that you have, because I always say it is so much bigger what makes us closer than what divides us.
Yeah.
So the differences are manageable.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
Thanks a lot for these insights, Paula. I really appreciate your contribution, and I'm sure that here from the beginning, the audience will treasure this episode as I will. Paula, with such a background, you are also a champion for DEI and you are advocating for that. Can you please share with us a couple of initiatives you are running to highlight your commitment for this matter?
Thank you. Thank you. Very good question. Marco, before going into the initiatives that I'm involved in, I really would like to say that it's in the daily actions.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the overday intentions, to include and to belong.
Yeah.
It's on the call in people, and actually the call, I used to use the word call out people who don't behave, or who have behavior that it's unacceptable towards others who are different from them.
Mm-hmm.
But Jenny Garrett, and Jenny is a mentor to me. And one of the things that Jenny does is, or did, was to create an executive coach and leadership directory.
Yeah.
Okay, in the UK.
Yeah.
So it's a massive database of coaches from diverse background. Yeah. And I think it's an important initiative. It's an important step. Yeah. In terms of having these people available for people who are equal to them. Yes. You know? But Jenny used the term call in. Don't call out people. You call them in. Yeah. Because sometimes people don't are not aware of how they're affecting others. Yeah. And so you call them in and say, actually, I saw you addressing this and that. Can you please? Do you think you made her feel included, or do you think you made you feel inclusive? Yeah. And I think calling people in rather than call them out, because that is a kind of a shaming thing, and I agree with that. So I changed my landscape of wording. Yeah. Or vocabulary, and that is actually more open. Yeah. So people don't feel called out, they feel called in. Called in, and also included. Yeah. In the conversation. Yeah. And also this is an ongoing process for all of us, either for people like me who are advocates, for champions. Yeah. For professionals in diversity. Yeah. But it's a continuous work for allies. Yes. Who can actually standing by those from different backgrounds, and actually help and call in people who are having different attitudes of discrimination. Yeah. Or racial discrimination, or all sorts. I think the aim is for us to accept each other. Yeah. In all our differences. Yes. In order to work together. Because it's, as I said earlier, it's so much more what brings us together than what divides us. I love that. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And so thanks a lot for this introduction. And I really agree with you. And it's amazing to see, the initiative that it was a directory, and the feeling that you have in order to stand for what you believe, and the DEI are such an important value. And I agree with you that we need to pursue it, right, in our daily actions. But one of the things, and I forgot to mention, yeah, the directory was from Jenny. Yeah. One of the things that I actually am involved, yeah, and I was involved, and I have to mention this. Yeah. At the back of George Floyd's assassination, Lucy, yeah, Brazier got in touch. Yeah. And I had already had a conversation in one of the conferences. We need to do something. We need to do something. Yeah. And then she reached me over lockdown, and she said, Paula, do you still want to work on that project? And that happened. Yeah. And so she contacted a few people, I contacted a few people, and we all brought together this report with recommendations for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah. I like to add belonging, because if you don't feel that you belong to a space, then the diversity, equity, and inclusion doesn't matter. Yes. They don't meet together. Yeah. I need to feel that I belong to a place in order to flourish, and in order to be myself, knowing that I'm accepted. Yeah. And knowing that being different or not, being myself is enough. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And it is so important that you mention, the sense of belonging, because we need to belong to a community as humans, right? Because it's something that really can make the difference.
Let's deep dive a little bit in your initiatives because I know that you are running a big project, right? You are writing a newsletter. So if you want to share with our audience such a kind of initiative that can make the difference, because I would like to let our audience know that there are some tools available, right, for diversity and inclusion. So what is this newsletter all about?
Oh, the newsletter is diverse.
Yeah.
Is not just about diversity.
Yeah.
The newsletter is directed to professionals,
Yeah.
assistants or not. I like to say that it's for professionals who think uh, my content resonates with them.
Yeah.
And you can, I think our profession is very transferable. All
Yeah.
the skills in our profession are very transferable, either communication, coaches,
Yeah.
trainers,
Yeah.
you name it.
Yeah.
You can just transfer all the skills that you have as assistants, executive assistants, and the sky is the limit, really.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I do with Moiuenos of Nand, which is a platform that shares content for assistants,
Yeah.
for professionals, and I would like to say, to think that in somehow I mentor
Yeah.
and influence professionals around the world,
Yeah.
but mainly in the Lusophone Africa, which is the niche market that I dedicate myself to. I started in Angola,
Yeah.
my own country of
Yes.
origin, but then you've got Mozambique, you've got Cape Verde. Actually, I'm going probably down to Cape Verde later in the year.
Yeah.
You've got Portugal, you've got Guinea-Bissau, and you've got Brazil as well.
Wow.
You know,
Yes.
you've got Brazil. Saint Tomé Príncipe is a very small country as well in Africa, which with I don't have much interaction, but I'm trying to
Build.
find my way.
Yes, and to build your bridges.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And this is very important. So I want you to share that all of these, relationships and bridges that you are building across the countries, across all around the world, because you are such an incredible example of commitment in this kind of values and these kind of matters. So I wanted to highlight this to let our audience know, right, that Paula is also an incredible woman that is committed to pursuing incredible values and to help professionals, because you are also a mentor and you mentioned that to help professionals to raise the bar, and to be the best they can be.
Always,
Yeah.
always. I think leaving a better world for the next
Yeah.
generation. That is not just the next generation, but also sharing what you know and what your experiences were, in order to help someone who might resonate with whatever
Yeah.
I share. So the newsletters are one of the things. Uh, um, I also do conferences in the countries that Moyuwen is connected to. So Angola, Cabo Verde, it's my main connections.
Yeah.
With Portugal, I have a collaborative relationship. So the Association for Assistance in Portugal, we collaborated. We did an interview last a year and a half with the University of Aveiro in Portugal as well. We collaborate, we work in a project at the moment, and it's these spikes of energy and innovation that you can share that about the profession that we are all so passionate about.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is so important for me to leave a mark.
Yes.
And if I can, and it's important also for me to tell you, Marco, that our platform is non-profit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everything I share, I don't charge. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
make any profit out of it. With Lucy Brazia, we also get some digital entries for the global executive support global. And so we've got all these relationships, and all my audience, all my niche market, really, the one I deliver my content mainly, benefits for my relationship, for
Yeah.
the relationships that I build
Yeah.
in from this side, from London.
Yeah.
And you don't know how much I feel, how much gratifying it is how gratifying it is to get a message from Angola or from Cape Verde or
Yeah.
from Portugal saying thank you for being so inspiring,
Yeah.
and thank you because all you do is just to provoke that person, to provoke that curiosity, and to say you can do it.
Yeah.
If I did it, you can do it. And then the world explodes.
Yeah.
You
Of
know,
course.
the world just, the possibility.
Yeah. Yeah. Is behind the corner, so we need just to see it, right?
Exactly, the possibility just
Yes,
wishes.
yes, it's amazing. So thanks a lot for this contribution, Paul. And this actually gets me to my next question
Mm,
about mentorship and giving back.
mm,
So you are so committed to providing your legacy to future generations, and you believe in that. So you already mentioned this topic, but let me ask you directly: why do you believe in your legacy in
mm.
this? And how your legacy can bring an added value to future admin professionals.
Well, I think we all mentors.
Yeah, in a way.
That's is. I think we all mentors. One's a kind of a focus more on the mentorship itself, like me, and others just do their jobs, and I kind of drink from the sources of people
Yeah,
without themselves knowing,
yeah,
and this is what I hope I can do to other, to the next generation, to other professionals around the world. The passion that I have in order to elevate, to share, to contribute
yeah,
for the growth of the profession,
yeah, of
you know
course.
and not, and I cannot stop myself but mention the World Alliance,
Yeah, of course.
which is such a platform where we all get connected,
Yeah,
and through that to develop work that is important. So the report for the diversity report that we produced is is a resource in the World Administrators Alliance,
yes,
and together to be able to build this culture
yeah,
of equality,
yes,
professionalism,
yeah,
and passion.
yeah. I totally agree with you, Paul. And this is amazing, right? Believing in that is the first step in order to make this happen. And
Mm.
you are a real example of that. So thanks a lot for sharing. Let me ask you my last question because uh, it's more focused in our days. We've passed through the pandemic and it was a challenging period, right, for all of us. Did we get the positive lessons learned from the pandemic, in your opinion? And if you have ones, why?
I think we are very much alive. We are very much and more than ever passionate about what we do and the value that we bring to the profession. We value that we bring to the table, not just as professionals, but as individuals.
Yes.
And as individuals, I bring the responsibility of advocating and champion for diversity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is a contribution, an individual contribution. It's a choice that you
Yes.
make as an individual. I think we all have that responsibility to advocate
Yeah.
and to champion diversity.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot. This is something that we can underline, right? And this is something that we saw and we are seeing, right, nowadays
Mm,
after the pandemic
mm,
more than ever.
mm.
So thanks a lot, Paula, for these insights, for this contribution. I really will treasure this episode with you, as the audience will, I'm sure. And what to say? Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a
Thank
lot
you,
for your
Marco.
availability. It has been a pleasure to speak to you, and wishing you all the best and looking forward to meeting you again. Why not in Italy or in the next conference? Because I'm sure that you will be there.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Bye bye.